Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're talking about the one and only Lemmy the Bat. Now, we haven't talked about it in a few short weeks, but ladies and gentlemen, my oh my, has this thing pumped up, right? When we talked about it, it was around somewhere around 1 to 1.3 million market cap at most. I do believe it was closer to the 1 million market cap. And ladies and gentlemen, this thing has been pumping well and consistently over the last few days, and it'll continue to pump. Matt Fury projects are starting to become trend. They are starting to become meta. And Lemmy the Bat, it is getting the spotlight it deserves. We know that the people behind these Matt Fury projects, I'm not sure if all of them work together. I'm not sure if one person works on multiple or how things work exactly, but I can assure you these teams have been consistently creating bangers and have been delivering, right? They have been delivering. We talked about, you know, this project roughly 2 to 3 weeks ago. So if we go even just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So even if we literally talked about it 2 weeks ago, it was at 1.13 million market cap, right? If we literally took it from there to now, you would have been up roughly 2.5 times your money in 2 weeks, which is really, really good, right? Which is really, really good. Ladies and gentlemen, right? There's a reason why I've been covering these projects. There's a reason why I believe in them, right? We've been seeing this surge of Matt Fury rise, and it has been beautiful. It has been beautiful. We can see when we go in terms of the technical analysis, ladies and gentlemen, right? You know, After a huge fast rally, there's always going to be a sell off, there's always going to be a correction. And we can see that there was a correction until there wasn't, right? We were in this narrow trend line, and we can see that roughly around the 18th of July, we broke out of it. And ever since then, this project has been just absolutely smashing it, right? Fundamental retests, fundamental pullbacks, absolutely everything has been perfect. We can see, right? Every time we go up from one zone, we sell off, go to another to retest. We retest. We've been fundamental. We go up, we pull back. We go up, we pull back. We go up, we pull back. And it has not shown any signs of reversals yet, right? Even in terms of the opening, even in terms of the closing, when we go look at something like the 4 hour, we can see, it's a meme coin at the end of the day, but clearly there is, the beautiful technical analysis behind it. We can see higher high, higher low, higher. Like this one was not higher, but it was still good. Boom, boom. We can see here was a little bit of a 50-50. Boom, burst to the upside. So look, guys, it has been very, very good. It has been very, very solid. And I do believe Lemmy will continue to rise, right? The next destination for me that I think Lemmy is going to hit is going to be the all-time highs. Okay, boom, something like this. There we go. We can see that this project is very, very bullish. And even if we go to something like the weekly, ladies and gentlemen, we know we had the highest weekly candle close last week at pretty much 2.57 million market cap. And we can see the other previous one that was closed was at 2.24. So it is bullish, right? It is bullish even in terms of fundamentals from a weekly standpoint. We have these bottoms over here. We have this top over here. Then we have these higher bottoms over here. And then we have, this higher high already that got created, which I do believe will still continue to go up higher and higher. So yeah, I am really, really optimistic. We can see when we go on to their Twitter page, they also have grown in holders, a couple hundred, followers, I should say, right? And they continue to get good views and good engagements for the size they are, right? 439 views for, 1,300 followers is roughly 1/3 of the followers tuning in. So that's what we like to see, high engagement. And you know what? The thing is, we know there is going to be a MEXI listing soon, an XT listing soon. So this coin, this project will continue to develop and will continue to smash everything, right? It will, because look, we have Uniswap, right? We have one more, we have another one, and that's only three places you could get Lemmy. And what's going to happen when we can get Lemmy from 5 places? What's going to happen when we get Lemmy from 7 places, from 8, from 9 or 10 places, right? Just think about it. Right? It's just common sense. So the more exchanges, the more money, the more eyes are going to be on this project, the more growth, and the higher it will continue to pump. We can see we have 677 holders. So we are still sub 1K, but for me, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, right? Low holders, sure, always a little bit risky, but we saw the growth, right? We saw the growth. Like I said, we talked about it when it was roughly a million market cap. It's up 2.8x from there. And ladies and gentlemen, I am super, super optimistic. In terms of where I think Lemmy is going to go from a pure growth standpoint, I do believe in a Fibonacci tool, and I do believe that we will, at the bare minimum, be hitting the 2.6 zone. So, the next leg is probably going to be the 10 million market cap. So, an investment, let's just say from here to here, would be looking at roughly 3.5x your money. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just saying. Right? We've seen with something like CC Dog where we did go up to here and then we did sell off. But I think CC Dog is preparing for another leg. So Lemmy could see something similar potentially, right? But just because one project did this doesn't mean the other project will as well, right? So, but we will be monitoring to see how Lemmy reacts from the all-time highs to see if it gets a bigger pullback to then have its expansion. And of course, we will keep you guys updated when that happens. But I do think 10 million market cap is very, very high probability. We could definitely even spike to 14 or 15 million. Right? You got to remember these fib tools are great, but they also need context. You got to realize that going from 3 million market cap to 15 million is, it does require some type of money, some type of growth. But, even though we're hitting the 3.6 and the 4.2 zone, it's not like we're asking a project to go from 1 billion market cap to 10 billion, right? That's much harder, right? That is much harder. Or from like 1 billion, right? Let's say if we took the measuring tool, how much percentage is this? So this would be 5.37 times. So yeah, from like 1 billion to like 5 or 6 billion is much harder than 2.8 million market cap to 15 million, right? Obviously, it requires less money and etc. So yeah, I'm super, super optimistic about this project. I really doubt it's going to have a small pump. It would really, really surprise me. We can see that even from the beginning, it did very, very well, right? It went up all the way to roughly a million market cap, sold off back down to 250. And from 250, it went to 4 million, which would have been almost, that 17, 18x, which is super, super beautiful. But yeah, that is ultimately it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think of the Lemmy project. I'm personally super optimistic about it. I will continue to cover it more and more in the future. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.